Yeah. What's going on, y'all? We are back. We are back like we never left. It's another episode of the Reallionaires podcast, hosted by the Three Wise Men. We have a special guest tonight. So let's get into the introductions. To my left, we have
Slim, a.k.a. Slim the Announcer, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason.
And to my right, far right, we have
Marlon Jean-Baptiste, a.k.a. MJB.
And our special guest,
Unique Levy.
And I am your at sitting center is the real, a.k.a. the old head that loves head. Yes. What in the sweet baby Jesus? Hold on a second. Oh, she must have realized, this nigga's on. Okay. And tonight we are talking about domestic violence. It's a topic that I've shied away from for a little bit, but in light of what's been going on and what I've been seeing, is definitely something we need to talk about. We have a special guest here who's going to share her story. But before we get into that, what y'all been up to? What's been going on?
I've been doing graduation stuff from protocol for baby girl. So I'm on a high right now.
Right. She looked beautiful, bro.
Off to college. She going to purchase and made the announcement on live last week.
Right.
So I'm just excited, man. Proud dad.
Did you feel old at the graduation?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Worst thing you saw there? Remember that I'm going to talk about that, but so what was the worst thing you saw at your kid's graduation? We'll go there.
He don't want to.
He don't. Don't worry. They're not tuning in.
The chick that came with the prom, not a prom outfit, she came with a club outfit to her kid's graduation. So it was like the pants, you probably will understand this a little more. So the pants was like wide open, and then in the middle looked like, you know when girls wear the shirt that snap in between the crotch?
Mm-hmm. The onesie?
Yeah, the onesie. So in the middle was a onesie, and the pants was like just wide open. So it was just like,
so you saw
pussy.
Hit meat.
Yeah. I'm like, you went out to your kid's graduation. Like, what? That was the outfit you picked? So that was probably the worst thing I saw. Other than what I said earlier, the kid Sean with the blonde wig. But that's it.
Yeah, blonde wig. All right. MJB?
Same thing. Graduate, high school.
Yeah.
Proud dad.
Okay. Worst thing you saw at the graduation? I know you saw some shit.
Nah, not really.
Really?
You lying.
No, he was upstate, bro. He was upstate.
Yeah.
Kids are weird these days. You
But
saw
not
some weird shit.
It ain't reach up there yet.
It was in Rochester. It was
Yeah, them niggas got a curfew. They ain't on this shit. How you doing? What you been up to?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
So me, I just did my typical 9 to 5. I'm a nurse in pain management.
You're a nurse in pain management?
Yeah.
I gotta talk to you because my shoulder, boy, got me feeling like I'm 60.
We all old high school grad.
Right. So y'all know Malik graduated last week. The weirdest thing or the wildest thing was,
So I was at your.
you was there.
There was a lot of weird.
Babe, you remember this? We're sitting there. They're calling the kids up, and this one girl, for no reason at all, bust out a whole split.
Stripper split.
Like 3 niggas almost got up the tipper. One thing I did realize though, and I guess it goes back to the age thing, is that these kids don't dress how we used to dress for graduation and prom. Like, nigga, there was a kid, the closest I saw to what we would wear, and it pissed me off. Shorty had on his gown. He had on dress socks with sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
I said, when you got a graduation at 4 and you got a game at 4:30. Yeah. All right. So, also Saturday, I hosted Poetry for the Brothers, which is an event that's done by Neighborhood Role Model, which is a good brother. I've been hosting his shows for a minute now, and it was dope. Took Malik with me, you know what I'm saying? So he got to see what grown folk gatherings look like. Highlight was there wasn't one bad performance. And you know, that's a blessing.
That's rare.
The interesting thing was one of the performers had a seizure at the end of the show.
I hate this story.
Black people ain't shit. This man had a seizure, and they lay him down, and I look, he's going through his phone. I'm like, nigga, you just had a seizure. What the fuck you doing? Posting a status? I had to shake it off. But then I'm looking at all the black people that are stepping over him. This man is laying on the ground and y'all just walking over it. Like, we have no more empathy, ladies and gentlemen. But real quick, I was supposed to do a poem there. I didn't do it there because I didn't have it on cap. I just want to read a piece of it now, being that we're still in men's mental health month. And then we'll get into the shit at hand. So, it's called Black Man, Who Do You Cry To? Dear black man, dear straight black man, dear straight black man that the world has deemed shit by those who hate your existence, I have a question. Who do you cry to? I'm not talking about when a loved one or a homie has died or the moment before you were told as a little boy only bitches cry. Nah. I'm talking about the moment after that and the heartache after that and the trauma after that. Black man, who do you cry to? When the family sees you as worthless, even though you do your best, but your past fuck-ups keep popping up without any rest. Black man, who do you cry to? When you've hurt the ones you love and seeing their tears tear you apart. Or when you find out the child ain't yours and now a new life with less love you gotta start. Black man, who do you cry to? When you realize your pops wasn't fucking with you, the girl who said she'd be there forever stopped fucking with you. No job will hire you. You realize physically and mentally you're no longer you. When you can no longer take hearing, it will get better because it never do. Black man, who do you cry to? When the person you love so much, the shortcomings you overlook, but out of anger, they highlight yours with some colorful commentary, I might add. The moment after you had to accept, you couldn't fix a situation involving one of yours. When you're feeling so closed in, all you see is walls. Ain't no windows or doors. Black man, who do you cry to? When you're in the middle of a life and death situation involving your own life, and uncertainty and hope is all you got. How many men right now are battling with suicide? It's a fucking lot. Black man, who do you cry to? Because for us black men, the hunt is always on. If they can't kill you physically, then they go mentally. You know, do some foul shit, then you address it and you're the one that's crazy. It amazes me how at all straight black men are supposed to just take this shit. Like the entire world is fucked up because of our existence. When in many situations, we are the one who fixed this shit. When a woman is with her man and she is disrespected, God damn it. Yeah, fucking computers. That's why I hate reading. When a woman is with her man and she's been disrespected, it is expected for that man to step in and fix it. Never mind if she was wrong. Never mind if he told her not to do something that led to the something because she suffers from a bitch is never wrong. And he better not lose that fight because from that night on, he might as well wear a dress and sit down to pee because all respect is gone. This chapter is now called the disrespectful dynasty. Who do you cry to? Who do you cry to? When the one you deem special enough, you let her in and shared your most deepest, transparent feelings and emotions and situations, only for her to throw them back up in your face as ammunition in an argument. An argument that you tried to avoid, but they kept poking the bear, and sooner or later, physically or mentally, something will be destroyed. Black man, who do you cry to when you can't sleep at night because your baby is missing? No one. You know why? Because no one is truly listening. Yeah, that's that. Yeah. I'm mad as fuck I didn't get to do it on stage, but I had to do it. All right, so now we can get into this. So before we, start doing this, I ran up, how I do for these shows, these type of shows. I go and I get the little facts and stuff. So get your pencils ready, ladies and gentlemen, if you're paying attention. Thank you, baby. Oh yeah, special shout out to my oldest daughter, Imani. She's on. My wife, she's on. Yeah, they got to make sure I behave myself. Domestic violence. Okay. A UN report compiled from a number of different studies conducted in the last 71 countries found domestic violence against women to be most prevalent. Guess where?
Like as far as location?
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know.
Ethiopia.
What?
Up to 2/3 of women in certain communities in Nigeria's Largo State say they are victims to domestic violence. Approximately 45% of black women experience stalking, physical and sexual violence in their lifetime, and an estimated 51% of black female adult homicides were related to inmate partner violence. Although completely accurate numbers are not easily available, researchers generally agree that among ethnic minority groups in the United States, black people are the most likely to experience domestic violence, either male to female or female to male, followed by Hispanics and white people. The state with the highest rates of domestic violence is Oklahoma. So stay the fuck out of Oklahoma. According to the World Population Review, about 49.1% of women in Oklahoma and 40.7% of men have experienced domestic violence in their lifetime. On average, about once every 5 days in Oklahoma, a person dies from domestic violence. The U.S. has one of the highest rates of femicide, which is female homicide, among high-income countries. 2.2 per 100,000 women. Women in the United States are 28 times more likely to be intentionally murdered by guns than women in women of the same age in other countries. The CDC's National Inmate Partner and Sexual Violence Survey during 2016 to 2017 found that in the United States, now listen to this, 42.3% of men and 42% of women reported having experienced physical violence by an inmate partner in their lifetime. For severe violence, 24.6% of men and 32.5% of women. So which occupation has the highest rate?
Inmates?
Yep. Law enforcement. So which occupation has the highest rate? That would be police officers. Studies have found that a minimum of 40% of families of officers have experienced some type of domestic violence. This can include anything from harassment and stalking to homicide. All victims should be able to access appropriate support. Both men and women may experience incidents of interpersonal violence and abuse. Women are considerably more likely to experience repeated, and severe forms of abuse, including sexual violence. Now, you listen, because it's Pride Month, you listen to the alphabet people, they'll tell you, oh, we are so much better than the heteros, or the breeders, as they call us. Check this little tidbit out. Domestic violence occurs at the same rate or at a higher rate in LGBT relationships than in heterosexual couples. Now, my only thing with that is I know for men, as somebody who has worked with like in crisis situations, a lot of men don't report.
Absolutely not.
Right.
They don't report. And in most cases, I think it's because if it's not in a prison, they feel like it makes them look weaker. Mm-hmm. For some reason, it seems to be okay. Oh, well, you was in jail. No, the shit ain't good no matter where. So, now that we got the facts out of the way, before we grill the hosts, have either one of y'all brothers experienced, witnessed, or been a part of domestic violence?
Witness, yeah. I don't think I've ever been a part of it. Why didn't I say that? I have I don't want to say domestic violence, but I've been hit before by women.
Mm-hmm. That's domestic violence.
Yeah. I didn't
blink twice, I'll save you.
I didn't hit back.
You didn't hit back?
No.
Okay.
One of them, I just grabbed her by the shirt and,
sugar till she
reminded her I had a dick. And
you say you remind what that mean? As you just heard from the stats, it don't matter. We're gonna
but then that turned into like I damn they tried to kill her. So it was
right, because as soon as you put your hand,
I was defending myself, but nah, I never really been.
Okay.
Other than that, I know, but witness that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when you witnessed it, did you like try to intervene or?
Sometimes yeah, sometimes no. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes no. Depending on the situation, depending on who it is. Mm-hmm. Sometimes with those, it's tough because if you try to intervene, it's like
Then they turn on you.
Yeah, they're not even gonna leave old boy. Like they gonna be mad at you for even getting their business. Like, I'm trying to save your other eye. The other one is already like swollen. Love.
Right.
I'm trying to save the other one. And they get mad at you. Like, don't be touching my boyfriend.
Right. Who the fuck is you talking to? I'm
You know
talking
what I'm
to the
saying?
nigga
So
who just said he was gonna put your head.
it's tough because you could run. I've been called before. Like, yo, bro, somebody hit Shorty. We gotta go. We who? It's like, all right, you about to run out there. You know what I mean? Then next week they still together. Yeah. So it's real. You know.
Right. MJB.
Yeah, I think for me, for me, I've been a part of it. I've witnessed it. Never to the degree of where it was like I had to intervene.
Okay.
Right? A very close family member, I'm not going to put him on blast, but a very close family member was, he
was hand happy?
Yeah, he was hand happy. And he learned his lesson as far as jail. You know what I mean? It was one of those situations where the DEA took it away from the person on some, too many people dying from this. So, you know, for me, I didn't report it, of course, because, you know, I'm not trying to look weak.
Right.
But it ain't cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? It ain't cool at all when you go through it. Nor is it cool to see it, in my opinion. But for me, it was never crazy. I never felt like I can't control this situation if I wanted to. And where he say, oh, you know, he ain't hit back or whatever, he did the typical shake up. Now, every now and then, I'm gonna let you know. And that's me being real. Like, yeah, but it takes a lot. And what I mean by a lot is like, not just today. Not just, you know what I'm saying, for this moment. It was like, it was a build up, and I controlled myself, and then I had to let you know who got the dick.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So that's what we running with, but we ain't say pause.
I said it.
Not no pause. Nobody said pause. All the pauses before the show. Nobody said pause. Both of y'all done said who got the dick.
I mean, we got serious.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. All right.
Serious conversation.
And my experiences of letting it be known, like, you don't really want this problem, like, it stopped. You know what I mean? Like it was like, okay, you know you don't want this problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? Never was proud of it.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, it gets to a point of like, right, we're raised and we raise our kids, might hit you, you hit them back. And it gets to a point where it's like, enough is enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, and part of the problem is because I'm not going to report it.
Right.
So I really only have one option as far as what I'm thinking at the moment.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
I've witnessed it.
Later.
Very close to home. When I was 12, my step-pops beat my mother up. And it was a very crippling thing for me. Because in my life, and I can thank God for this, I'll be 50 in September. I've only had 3 situations in my life where I felt helpless. And that was the first one. Because I jumped up to help her. And that motherfucker hit me too.
Right.
And the way he hit me, my breath was like, yo, I'm going to get a Pepsi. You want something? I've seen it in the street and I've stepped in. The block I used to live on, there was a girl, she used to beat on her man all the time. Willie. One day she stabbed him. But Willie got so tired of this shit, like you said, the build-up. He took the knife out and stabbed her back. So they both end up going to the hospital and then to the bookings. Right. In my personal relationship, I've had situations that come close. You know what I'm saying? Like the yelling, the arguing. And see, me, I was the type of person when I was younger, when I got mad, I had to hear something break to calm down. So I'm not going to hit you, but I'm going to destroy everything around you until I realized that shit wasn't working either. That wasn't cool because we bought a fucking computer. And this was back when people was making the computers. $800. We got in an argument and I destroyed the computer and left. And when I came back, she was like, yeah, I left that. for you to see. Not understanding that was rage from, like you said, the buildup. And then with the work that I was doing, I ended up taking a DV training. And I learned how a lot of things are considered domestic violence.
Right.
Like even when you grab the woman and you're like, yo, just listen to me. They consider that domestic violence. I used to have to do trainings on it. You know, letting people know that the first sign might not be physical. It could be verbal. You know what I'm saying? They're setting it up. Oh, why you got to hang around them? I don't want you around them. You know what I'm saying? They start trying to isolate you from people, take away your money rights and all types of shit like that. And girls will think, oh, he just loves me. No, he's trying to shut everything around you down so that he can control everything about you. Definitely not fly. Definitely not cool. And at the risk of sounding crazy, I understand it. Maybe because I've counseled so many people, but I understand the frustration that leads to that in some situations. Because there are some situations that shit just don't, it don't fucking matter. Just because she burned the fucking pancakes, it's not a reason to put, you know what I'm saying? Because this girl clicked like on his social media, it's not a reason to go upside this man's head, especially. And that's the thing is that if you're in a relationship with someone who's not confrontational and you do that type of shit, it's already bad. But that shit looks worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got a dude and he's doing everything in his power, come on, man, chill, and you mushing him and you bitch ass nigga, and I'm gonna call my brothers to fuck you up and la 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 la. How much of that shit you think he could take? And just like with a woman, you know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, they had a movie called The Burning Bed. I just told my age.
I ain't never heard that.
Right.
Yeah,
It was like one of the first 5 movies they did in color. And it was about a woman who, you're right, Iman, it can definitely be mental.
There's many forms of domestic violence and abuse.
This woman, she dealt with it for so long and got tired of it. So she let him get drunk. When he got drunk, she set the whole shit on fire with him in it. She got off. She was the first OJ. All right, so now let's introduce our special guest. You can break down who you are, the fucking reason you're here today, because I know people are like, well, why the fuck is she sitting there? So, yeah.
All right, well, again, I'm Unique Levy. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn?
Crown Heights.
Oh,
okay. Utica. Gotta go there. Gotta go there. Gotta go out there after this.
Why I am here today because I'm a domestic violence survivor as well as a DV advocate. And also, I'm one of the first women in New York City to beat the charge that I beat because of my domestic violence situation.
Okay, and what charge was that?
So I was arrested for murder too, due to the fact of a long history of domestic violence of a much older man that I was dating.
Okay. Serves his ass right. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
No, you should have. No, you said the right thing.
You know how we do. You know how
Sir, tis it's a real year. Sir, tis it's right.
How long were you with him?
So I was with him in total for about 4 years.
Okay.
And the first 2 wasn't any domestic violence. It was, which was crazy. Everything was good, you know, and once he lost his job, then that's when I seen a whole nother side.
Okay. Yeah, they say that it happens a lot. You know, I'm a conspiracy man. But they say it happens a lot in like low income or the hood type settings. I don't
stressful
think
situations.
Yeah, but I don't think it happens more. I think it's just reported more.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because that's one thing we got to pay attention to is what's reported.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like until I started doing the work that I was doing, I thought that men only got raped in jail. But it's not true. And it's not all men that get raped by women.
Right. Absolutely.
But they don't report it because going to the precinct and telling these cops what happened to them feels more demoralizing than what actually took place.
And it's exposing yourself. Sometimes you don't even want to expose yourself that even happened to you.
Right. So, as an advocate, what's some of the biggest things that you've experienced, or, you know, stories or whatever the case may be?
So, like how you were saying earlier, domestic violence comes in so many different ways. Like, with my situation, it started off with verbal.
Mm-hmm.
Then it became more of like a mental abuse. Then it was sheltering me. And then that's when the physical started.
Once he realized that he had you
sheltered, exactly. Right. So, do you want me to go into the story a little bit? Or?
I mean, you can. You know, I'm not forcing. You share what you want to share.
All right. So, I have a book coming out, so I'm gonna give you a little bit, but not too much.
Okay, what's the title of the book?
All right, it's called "I'm Still Standing."
I'm going. Whoa, when that drop, I'm definitely going to get that. Like my first book ever.
So, this happened in January. This was 6 years ago. So, to pretty much brief everything, like I said, the first 2 years everything was good. I was 27, he was 48 at the time when the situation occurred. So I decided to go back to college because I did have children young.
Mm-hmm.
So when I met him, I decided to go back to school. I was working 2 jobs. You know, I was just trying to get my life together due to the fact, you know, like you said, coming from the hood, you know, having children young kind of put things on pause.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to elevate myself better, you know. He was 48 and he was working and he lost his job. So the reason why he lost his job, because he was getting high on the job. I didn't know that he was doing drugs. Because me being younger than him, you know, from Crown Heights or whatever, and then, you know, I'm an 80s baby. I didn't really know what someone looks like that do cocaine.
Right.
So, you know, you heard of weed, you seen crackheads, you know, everybody has a particular look. But with coke, it's like...
It's way different.
No, exactly. So, it ended up turning into... I'm in school, I'm doing good, you know, I'm about to graduate. He lost his job because of that, and I didn't find out until like months later this is the reason why he lost his job. So it started, you know, with the verbal abuse, him calling me names. I'm going to school, he's popping up at my school just to make sure that I'm really there, you know. My kids are going away for the weekend. That's when I would get beat on most of the time. And, you know, eventually I got tired. So the time that I realized that I really got tired is when I end up in the hospital. So this particular incident, because I'm not going to lie, like the first few times that I was getting beat on, like I would try to hide it.
Okay.
Because like how you were saying, you know, it goes with both sides with men and women. I was too embarrassed to say anything. And I wasn't processing what was happening due to the fact the first 2 years, everything was good.
So was it like when it first happened, you just looked at it as, oh, he's just stressed?
Yeah, I made excuses for it because
it's just today.
Right.
Exactly, because like I said, it started, you know, with the verbal and then the name calling, and then the first time, like when he hit me, I was more shocked than anything. I'm like, the hell, like I know you stressed, but what did I do? And I'm like a person, like I'm really non-confrontational, you know, and being that I knew that he was stressed about a lot of things, I would try to kind of fall back so I don't seem like, you know, I'm doing too much, you know, because I knew he had like a little temper problem. But again, I made excuses for it. So pretty much, like I said, after the 2 years, and then once the beatings became like severe and to where I had to like hide my face, I ended up going to the hospital. I had to get stitches a few times. Like I was just over it. So the first time that I ended up in the hospital, I packed the bag and I left. I went to my mother's house. I'm like, look, I can't do this no more. I ended up really breaking down and telling my mom, like, look, I'm getting beat on and I don't know what to do. Every time I would go to my mother's house, being that he knew where my mother was, he would come over there like, look, if you're not coming downstairs, I'm going to hurt all of y'all. So how we doing this? So, you know, me wanting to protect my family, and I didn't want them in the bullshit, being that I was already in the bullshit, I would leave. Like, you know, I really have no choice.
Right.
And I didn't call police. And then, like, the second or third time, that's when I started calling the cops. Because I'm like, look, I can't take this no more. You're interfering with my schooling. My job started realizing things, so I had lost one of my jobs. So, you know, from then, I was like, you know what, I got to go. So I tried to leave again. He came back to my mom's house again. So the very last time that I decided to leave, and I actually went to the precinct, I packed my stuff. I went to the precinct. I'm like, look, I'm getting beat on, and I cannot go back. If I go back, I feel like this man's gonna kill me.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did, I think they call Safe Horizon, and they put me in a van. They took me straight to a shelter. And I was like, look, this is what I got to do because I know if I go back, he's going to kill me. Every time they locked him up, they would let him out, and he would beat me worse. So with this particular incident, go ahead.
Real quick, your cousin is on the live.
Oh, hey.
She said, oh, hey.
Hi. So with this particular incident, I went to the shelter. Domestic violence shelters, you normally stay like 3 to 4 months, all depending on where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And I like I said, I was working a job. I was in school. I finally got a place. So I decided to move far. You know, I'm not going to state where it was because it was like pretty much off the grid. I was like, let me go here so I can feel safe. A lot of you not. Like, I decided to have a housewarming party. I felt like this was the big hump in my life where I finally got away from him. I'm out the shelter. A lot of you know, I had the housewarming party and then everybody left. And I never forget, it was Martin Luther King Day. And I said, you know, I'm going to go to work and do overtime. He was outside. I don't know how he found me. I don't know if he had people watching me because I know a few times, like I said, he was coming up to my school looking for me or whatever the case may be. And I just froze because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I know the previous beatings was bad, so where a few of them might end up in the hospital. So I'm like, I don't know what he's here for, but I think it's going to end up bad. And all of a sudden I seen like he had a knife and he charged at me. From there, like, honest to God, I blacked out. I don't really know what transpired in between, but I know, like, once I came to, it was blood, and he, like, pretty much wasn't moving.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm trying to do CPR because I'm trying to process, like, what happened. I don't know what happened in between. You know, I called the ambulance, and then when they came, they was, like, dead on arrival. So I'm still sitting there like, what do you mean dead on arrival? Like, what the fuck? Like, I know he charged at me with a knife. I don't know what happened. I have blood on me. He's laying there. I'm like, what's going on? So from then, that's when they pretty much was telling me, you know, I had to go with them.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, I had to do 9.5 months. I had to fight my case.
Wow.
The good part that I didn't sign like any documents or anything, so they let me go off what do you call it? Grand jury.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, like, once I told my story, they see I had like numerous order protections against him. They see I was running from him. They pulled up like all my hospital reports. They seen like, you know, it was a track record of everything that was going on. So they decided to acquit me of all charges.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're still here. I'm glad that you survived that. And hopefully he's doing open mics butt naked in hell.
How you living up there, bro?
You're right. Nah, he gonna damn.
I'm for big homie here up there.
They living. Real quick, I just want to ask them, as fathers of girls, where does that rate on your fear level?
Before I even get into that, I want to say, like you're amazing. Your story is crazy. And I hope that people who hear your story can take a lot from it.
Thank
like
you.
the whole
And get that goddamn book.
Yeah, like the fact that you you did the right steps to make a paper trail, so which helped you in the end. You know what I'm saying? And I salute you for protecting yourself at the end and doing what you had to do.
Calling with that Steven Seagal.
Calling with that shit. I don't know what you did. We need to watch like a camera from the store. So this is what happened. But salute to you, seriously. Like, that was crazy. But to answer your question, it's a fear, but it's not a fear for me. It's a fear for whoever does it to my daughter. It's like it's not gonna be any talking, no.
Right.
Straight for the kill. Like I'm not.
Right.
And you know me, I'm not really a confrontational person. I'm not
I
like
watched
a
the beast
big
you
top. Yeah, that beat was real.
Right.
But when it comes to my daughter, like, as a dad, I'm her first protector.
Yes.
So I have to protect her. So I'm always have that mentality when it comes to her with anything that happens to her. I only had like one situation where I even had to show her that side of me. And even she was looking at me like, I didn't know you was crazy. Right. And I'm like, nah.
This ain't my dad takes me to get ice cream.
Right. For you, I'm always going to get to that point. So if any man, boy, whatever, ever puts his hands on her, like, I'm really going to lose. I'm going to lose all my marbles.
As you should.
MJB, now you got a couple of girls.
Yeah, so, I mean,
smart.
yeah,
Right.
it's definitely a fear. Like, I feel you with flipping it and saying it's a fear, but you still don't want them to go through that.
Nah, absolutely not.
At all.
Absolutely
So the fear is high. And because I got 5 of them, it's like, fuck.
Right.
This one might be good, that one might be good, and that one.
Right.
You know what I mean? And as a dad, that's my boiling point. Like, people don't want to accept real shit, you know, sometimes. And I'm the nigga that you with my daughter, you cheat on her, it is what it is. I'm not saying go ahead and cheat on her.
Right.
That's
But that's
like
life.
shit. Yeah,
Right.
that's just-
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be more, you know, I'm not going to sit there and try to kill you for cheating on her. All right, well, pick your niggas better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that
Ain't no.
Ain't no coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
And where I'm at today, I'm calling y'all niggas like, yo.
That's a full
That, you know, right.
Need some Reallionaires on this shit.
Yeah, I don't feel like if a man puts his hands on a woman, I don't feel like he should get a regular beating.
Nah, and not at all.
Like,
Wait,
I don't want
okay.
Not at all.
Hold on, I just got to read this real quick. My wife said, "I'm fucking my son's girl up
Oh yeah, that's my
I
lady.
agree with
if
that.
she hits my son
That's right.
and her mother for not teaching her better." Now,
I agree with you, wife.
That's definitely my
Now-
lady.
y'all know I have 4 girls, 2 older, 2 younger, and I experienced it with my daughter. And it was at a time when she wasn't her. You know, she's running away and shit like that. And the craziest thing about it was my wife caught the signal before we even knew what happened. My wife woke up and her eye was swollen and she didn't know from what. From what? And she looking at me like, nigga, I didn't touch you in your
Right,
sleep.
right,
What
right.
the fuck? So when my daughter came back and she told her what happened, nobody wanted to tell me. I don't know why. Anyway, this nigga had a nerve to knock on my door. Knock on the door. Yeah, who is it? Carlos. First off, who the fuck is a Carlos knocking on my fucking door? I'm black. Don't nobody named Carlos. And then my wife said, "That's him." And I opened the door. I said, "Yo, my nigga, you like putting your hands on girls?" Because I didn't have nothing on my feet. I'll be right back. Close the door. When I opened the door, now mind you, my shoes was right there. We live on the 7th floor. I come out, this nigga is gone. Running. I'm yelling out the window, "Yo, my nigga, don't go nowhere. I'll be right downstairs.
Right.
Because I'm going to show you what the fuck you get." You understand what I'm saying? Now, my oldest daughter, you know, I just recently reconnected with her, as you know. And so when she told me about it, this shit burned me. You know what I'm saying? It's because besides the fact of them being my daughters, I seen that shit as a child. So it does something different to me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, my mother was not a punk. My mother laid a man down for trying to rape her. But let this nigga put hands on her. And when we spoke about it, she said because she was surprised that it would even happen. It only happened one time. But the fact that it happened, like, that was something that we never experienced in my house growing up. You kept your fucking hands to yourself, unless it was a fight outside, and then we all fight together. Don't give a fuck if me and you could have just had an argument at 2:00. If at 2:30 he's outside fighting, I'm out there with him.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I've never thought it was cool, never liked it. And whenever I seen it happen, all except for one time, cannot lie. One time, on the train, and this girl is steady digging into this dude. She talked about everything about this nigga being broke, his mother being a crackhead, him having a little dick, all of this. And she did this. And the nigga jumped up. So I did what I call light intervention. Cases, you might not want to, agitate that man a little, no further. Fuck this nigga. That was all it took. Mm-hmm. And I was going to get involved, but I can tell that was a situation.
Sit this one out, player.
Right. I'm going to sit this one out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Wait for the cops to come. Like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to tell you who did what, but yeah, they over there.
Right.
You know what I mean? But getting back to your story, you had to do 9 months. While you were sitting there, did it ever dawn on you, I wish I could have did something different?
Yeah, it played in my mind a few times. So, being that I never committed any crimes or anything, and I had to go to Rikers Island, that was a process within itself.
Yeah, because Rikers is a motherfucker.
Exactly.
Even when you go to visit, it's
different.
Yeah.
So, trying to process that someone I loved, was hitting on me within, like how they say, your life changed in minutes. That particular situation happened, and then now I'm in jail. It's like trying to process all of this. Like, it just wasn't clicking. So honestly, it took me about a month to really realize, okay, look, you're here, you're fighting a case, now you out of jail. And to where I had requested like mental health to speak to a therapist, because it was like I didn't know how to process what was happening. Right. So it was a lot for me.
Okay. And as far as support system, how was that during the aftermath?
So that's one thing. I did have a very big support system.
Okay, great.
So, which was weird, because in the beginning, I'm not going to lie, like, his mom kind of tried to warn me about a lot of things, but like, when you love someone, you're like, oh, he's not going to do it to me, or, so I didn't listen. And then when the situation occurred, of course, she was hurt. That's her son. But between the mom and the brother, they were telling me, like, look, we're not upset at you. We just wish things could have went differently. And then me sitting in jail, like, that's the most, I'm not going to lie, I did the most praying because, and how can I say it? Like, yeah, it was just a lot. Like, it was a lot to process.
I'm fucking sure.
Right.
So I got a question for you. Was it, because you did say you was in love.
Yeah.
So was it that it was just pure love, or was there also financial, or being younger and having an older guy that was like, oh, not like what really? What I'm asking is, what made you stay?
It was love and fear.
Okay.
So the love, because I kept looking at
the first 2 years. Okay, I got you. I got you.
Right.
I got you.
And then the fear, because again, I wasn't understanding why this was happening, and then I was scared, like, damn, if I leave him, is he gonna hurt my family members and hurt me?
Right.
So it was like, a shaky situation. I didn't know what to do.
I got you.
And, going out to reach for police and asking for help, they would lock him up and he'll come right back out.
Right.
So, and now you got to deal with that.
Even worse.
So now easy.
Right.
Now you got him locked up.
Exactly.
Like, when you got yourself locked up, bro. She ain't locked up.
So I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know what to do. It's not like I wanted to stay. I wanted to leave. I tried to leave numerous times, but
felt stuck.
He just wasn't hearing that.
Right.
Like I said, he would pop up at my mother's house. So anybody, if like, you put yourself, and I'm not putting the blame on, like, me. I'm just saying, like, you put yourself in a situation. Of course, nobody want your mother harmed or
You're trying to protect everybody around.
Because of some shit you decided to deal with. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Definitely.
it was fear and love to answer your
Somebody said she was invested.
Yeah, because, and see, that's the thing is like, one of the things that usually takes place in older, younger relationships is that the older feels they have a certain level of control because they're older, you know, because you love him or you love her, so you're catering to them. It feeds their ego, but it also makes them think, yeah, I got it right where I want to.
And I think those type of people search for that.
They
Absolutely.
do.
You know what I mean? So
Definitely. I definitely believe that they search for it and they have a game plan until they finally are dealt with.
right.
Yeah.
And this is why right now for me, I'm so concerned for these young girls. I'm concerned for the boys too. Yeah. But in this particular instance, because you know I'm down for the men, but in this particular instance, especially what I've been seeing, it's a real fear for women because the male ego has become so fragile that they can't even take someone saying, I don't want to be with you no more. What? Bitch, you don't want to be with me no more. Yeah. It's over for you.
Right.
I'm spinning the block. I'm crashing out. Or whatever the fuck these young stupid motherfuckers say now.
I hate that one.
I'm crashing out. You're not in a car. Shut up. And I always wish that I could do like just a mass men talking to about this particular subject because I understand your frustration. I understand you feeling disrespected. I understand you feeling like nobody hears me or understands me until I yell, until I do this, that, and third. But what you're doing is not helping, especially when there's kids involved.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because now those children, you know what I'm saying, if they witness it, that shit is with them forever.
Yeah.
And if they don't witness it, they're noticing a change in that parent. Mommy used to be happier. Now mommy spend most of her time in the room. Does my mommy love me anymore? Because they don't understand. You understand what I'm saying? And so this is why I always say, I tell my son this all the time. If you're ever with a woman and she wants to fight you, you don't need to be with her.
Absolutely.
If you're with a woman and you feel the only way to get her to respect you is to put hands on her, you don't need to be with her.
Absolutely.
Right.
And same thing for the girls. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, my oldest daughter is, you know, she's expressing that she went through it. So I'm going to call you later. You give me the nigga's address. I'm going to pay him a visit. But
So,
it's... Go ahead.
I tell it to you like this, going back into my situation, right? My third oldest daughter, just this Tuesday when I was out in Rochester before we even came back, she was watching some video, right? And the video was like a cartoon thing where I guess the parents was yelling at each other. And out of nowhere, she goes, mind you, she's 10, right? She goes, oh, this used to be you and mom.
Wow.
I haven't been with her mother for 5 years. So this happened 5 years ago.
And she's still carrying.
You know what I mean?
She's 5 years old. That's crazy.
When she did that, I'm like...
And this is something that I think about within relationships where the children belong to both of them, right? Do you understand when you put hands on your partner, you're forcing your children to choose a side?
Absolutely.
And more than likely, 9 times out of 10, they're going to choose mom.
Yep.
They're going to choose mom. Now, what are you going to do?
Yep.
You going to fight him too? You going to fight her too? That shit don't make you look no better. And it's not getting you any more respect. I think those men, in most cases, believe that fear lasts longer than respect.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it doesn't. Because all fear do is fuck around and get you in a bad situation. And we get somebody who fights the charges and get the fuck off.
Right.
I want to read something because you touched on it just now. Brittany said,
Hey, Brittany, what's up, hip-hop?
She fractured her leg recently, so she's hopping around, as I play call it. Once my son jumped in, and he was 2 at the time, it was like, whoa, no more.
Wow, at 2.
At 2.
Get off my mommy. Like, and I don't think, and I want to say this with main camera. I want to say this.
She said, hush.
I know. I want to say this. If you know it's happening, and you know the abuser, and you don't say or do anything about it, you're just as fucking bad. It's the same shit I've been saying about Gene Deal. You witness all this shit that Diddy did, but you don't say nothing until interviews and money is involved.
I hate that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all watched this and was there.
So it's actually very interesting that you say that, right? Because I've had close friends at the time when I was going through it. And you go through your phases where it's like, yo, I think I'm done with this. Mm-hmm. Right? And they was on some, nah, what y'all have is beautiful. And it was like, all you're looking at is, we got 4 kids together at the end of the day.
Right. You're not looking at what the fuck is going on.
And no, but they knew. This isn't a matter of, there's times where it's like, nah, get her because I'm a do this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you knew firsthand. But I think people get caught with the norm.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's not me.
I'm so used, and it's not me. I'm so used to y'all being together. You know what I'm saying? I had a friend tell me there's nothing better out there.
Motherfucker would have stopped being my friend right there and then.
No, I mean, that's a real thing you're talking about. That's a very, very...
You know what I'm saying?
It's disgusting. Like, all right, I won't say disgusting. Yeah, it's fucking...
No, it's not. It's fucking disgusting.
If you know... Okay, so then I'm going to her house. Oh, yo, my wife is still on kill time. See, and that goes back to the joke that you told. Remember when he said the joke about me and her? He said we both look like we rock somebody, but she looked like she want to do it, and I look like I don't know about today. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, because she, like, we're law and order.
Right.
So she do all of the, and I just hold my beer. And, but I know for a fact if anybody does anything to her son,
That's it.
I'm just going to sit with the rest of the babies and wait for the phone call.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know for her it's going to be just like it was for me. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. I just want to see this nigga down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he didn't, you know what I'm saying, I couldn't get to him, bothered me. But as life would work, the motherfucker's in jail for fucking 70 years, fucking rape.
Good.
Serve your black ass right.
That's good.
And
can I just piggyback over something? I just want to discuss like how you were saying when your daughter was 2, and you said she was 2 at the time.
She was 5. She was 5.
5 at the time. So what's so crazy how we feel like children are not aware of things. So most of my beatings happened when the kids wasn't home. Okay. So they would pretty much like see the aftermath, like how I would try to clean up and, put makeup on the high black eyes or whatever the case may be.
So they're seeing the change in mommy.
Right. And a lot of the times, like how you did state, like I would be in a room a lot because I'm trying to cry and not let them see that. Mm-hmm. So my point is I never forget when I first got arrested, for the first 2-3 months, I wouldn't allow my family to come see me because how like messed up my face was. And then I never forget when I finally allowed my children to come see me, the first thing they said, because I'm not going to lie, I lied to them. They was like, Mommy, like, where you been at all this time? I'm like, I'm just away in a woman's facility trying to get my mind together because my mom had took them, while I was in that situation. And I never forget my son, because I have twin boys. They're 19 now. My son told me, he said, Mommy, he said, no. He said, I actually looked you up. And he said, I know what happened. And I was like, what are you talking about? He said, no, he was hitting on you, and I see, because they said domestic violence, that this is why you're in jail. And he was like, I'm not ashamed. I'm just glad that you're okay. And that broke me down. So that shows that kids do see. They don't.
Oh, yeah, they see, they pay attention, and they sense things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I gotta let y'all know, 7 is walking.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. 7 is walking. I don't know if I'm happy yet because she didn't learn how to slide out the fucking bed and she got her little drunk walk and she going. But in the house, like, you know I'm a loud person. So I'll be playing sometimes and I'll get the yelling. And she'll be like, ah! Translation, hey, yo, shut up all that shit. And I calm right down. But with this, a lot of times now they try to use the mental health shit. And I'm sorry, as someone who has worked with mental health people and people who's going through mental episodes, there's no mental health shit behind that. It might be emotional. It might be pride. But it's not mental because you know what you're doing. You planned it. You picked this person because you knew you could get away with this shit with this person. Right. They never get the females that's outside. Nah, fuck that shit. Even though some of them go through it too.
Some of them be getting beat on too.
Some of them go through it too. They just mask it better. Yeah. But in most cases, they go for the meek, quiet, younger. You know what I'm saying? Because certain things sound good to them. You know what? You ain't even got to work. I'll take care of you. My boo taking care of me. No, your boo is cutting everything off around you. It is the art of war, and you do not know where you are at.
I want to, real quick, before we get off of that, I want to touch on the kids part.
Hey.
Pause.
Pause. Y'all talk. Pause. Don't pause. Here we go. All right, go ahead.
So I did have a situation with my daughter's mom where it got a little. This is like after we've been apart. This is kind of recently, like a couple of years. You remember this?
Yep. Because that's enough. So I was mad.
Did get a little physical. She attacked me. I didn't hit her back, but got up out of there. Whatever situation happened. My daughter she's 17 now, so she probably was 15 at the time. She's seen it. She witnessed it. My whole thing was I have to call her the next day to make sure she's good and to make sure we're good. Yeah. Because even though I know what happened, I know I didn't start it, I have to see where my daughter's head is at. Yeah. Because like you said, a child's main thing is always to protect their mother. And my daughter and my mother have a great relationship, you know what I'm saying? So I know her main thing is protect mommy. But I needed her to understand that you don't have to protect mommy from me.
Because mommy fucked up on this.
Right, and you don't have to be scared of me. That's not even my character. And the most refreshing part of the situation was when my daughter goes, I know that. I know what happened. I know that what happened. So I'm just,
and that's why she going to college.
Yeah, everything after that was like, fuck this shit. People walking outside, like, we can go around too. What I do? She was good, but it's very, you have to check your kid's mental after stuff like that happens. And for that to come back up 5 years later in a random moment is like insane.
And my question to the ones who do it and think it's okay, where the fuck are your morals at? Exactly. Like,
I mean, but that's it.
No, because
they don't have morals.
Because okay, when I was 17, right, I used to date this girl, and shorty was big, not fat, tall. And I know I'm like 5 foot nothing. She was 6'2" and 75 cents. Wore the same size shoe as me. I just thought of it as a challenge. But now she's looking at me because everybody in her family's tall. So she's looking at me as, oh, this little, he cute little.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And she would do shit like punch me. My mother always taught me, motherfucker hits you, hit him back. First time, boom! I don't know what you used to, but I don't do that.
Right.
Couple of months go by. Oh, shut up. Boom! See, now you told me to shut up and you hit me. Do it again. And it's because I'm dealing with this shit and I'm not no bitch. And that shit hurt.
Right.
Because she was big. Like, her fucking hands was heavy.
It was actually hairy.
Right. It was actually fucking hurt. Like, boom. You wipe that shit off, but that shit, you got the side, it's like,
He's like, oh, this bitch is winning.
right. Like, almost had me thinking about myself. But then, one day, I forgot what it was. I was mad about something. And she hit me. And I punched her ass back. One time. We never had a problem again. And that's not to say that it was a good thing. But when you date somebody, you don't know what they come from.
Right.
And sometimes you got to teach them, this ain't what we do on this side of the street.
Right.
And clearly the talking wasn't getting it because I wasn't your height. So I had to show you, you know what I'm saying? I might not be tall, but nigga, I pack a punch.
Right.
Stop playing with me. You know, like y'all said, I had to show who had the dick.
This goes back to the short joke I almost had earlier.
When you was about to talk about my height?
And height in general, he just shut me down immediately. He's like,
Right. Not too much on the short.
don't do that over here.
Because guess what? Every tall nigga I ever seen get knocked out got knocked out by a short nigga.
But that goes back, that plays a part as far as like, I kind of wanted to ask that question for the panel, for everybody up here. It's just like, with some women, I don't want to say they lead you to hit them,
But you can understand.
but I can understand because some women will push buttons and try to act like, oh, you're not going to hit me, or you got the ones that think they could beat a man. And it's like, all right, love, at some point you have to stop.
Right.
Because I got to remind you who has a dick.
I will say to that, for me personally, I don't think no verbal should get you there. I get it gets bad.
There's some words.
bro.
I
I get that it gets bad, but in my opinion,
No, but I'm going to tell you why. Because verbal abuse is a real thing, too.
I understand that.
So somebody could
But what he's
verbally
saying is-
What I'm
abuse you.
saying is,
Verbal might be, it's abuse, but it's manageable.
yeah, and your reaction shouldn't be physical to verbal, not opposite sex. Definitely not dude to female, in my opinion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I did want to say something because I don't want to forget this thought going back into the kid thing. As crazy as this may sound, for my girls, I think seeing that and witnessing it on the numerous times helped them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like he said about talking to them, I always let it be known. Well, I never had to let it be known I ain't started because they seen it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did react back, it was always this is why you don't fuck with a nigga first.
Right. So it's gonna show them how to speak to the king and amen when they get one.
It showed them two things: how to carry yourself, and it's zero tolerance for their mindset.
But you know one thing that, and this is something that a lot of them check for. They check for females that don't have their fathers in their life.
Yeah.
A lot of them, because there's a certain element to dad being home.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that from when I was young, like I wasn't into abuse, I was just a whore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like from 14 to 17, I was listen, somebody asked me, they was like, yo, would you want your daughters to date you? I said, not when I was 17.
Right.
Which me you talking about?
Right. It's about 14 to 17. Fuck no.
Right.
But I always gravitated to the females who pops wasn't home. Because when I met a girl, her pops was there. Now I gotta move differently.
Mm-hmm.
Cause this nigga might be a real nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember I went to one girl house. Pops looked like fucking Damon. The nigga out on a white beater and everything. And the nigga was like, so what's your plans with my daughter? Oh, we going to church. We gonna hold hands and read the Bible. You know, and I experienced it with my daughter when she brought her boyfriend to the house. She never brought dudes to the house. Like, I remember I caught her text messages one time, and it was a dude. He was trying to get to the house bad. He was like, yo, just let me pull up. And she like, my father's crazy, and he has a gun. And the nigga never said nothing else. So she brings this dude, and she's like, Dad, She trying to prep me.
Right.
You can't fucking prep me. Let me see this nigga. So when the nigga walks up, he's like, how you doing, sir? I said, yeah, pull your pants up. Let's go.
First of all.
Because we was going to eat.
Right.
So I'm shutting the shit down out the gate, letting you know, nigga, she's not one for that.
Right.
And now that I know what you look like, don't play those games.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's why more black fathers, wait, main camera. More black fathers need to be in their children's lives. I'm not saying that we're not doing it, because we're definitely fucking doing it.
Definitely on that
but
right path.
being in their lives means sometimes you have to be proactive in situations that are not attractive.
Yeah.
And if you are in her life like that, you'll know, because when the shit goes down, at some point, she's gonna come tell you.
Nah, for sure.
But if you're not in her life like that, she don't feel protected by you like that, or she see you treat her mother fucked up, it's not gonna happen.
Absolutely. And as black men with daughters, you have to. It's you're.
But it's not
Kinda,
just
you
daughters,
kinda
you got mothers
no.
and
What I'm saying,
sisters
that's what I'm saying.
and
Though, as a black man with a daughter, you're a standard of what a man is.
Exactly.
Yep.
So the way you treat her, the way you groom her, the way I don't use the word groom. Sorry.
Yeah, don't do that.
The way you treat her.
No Epstein?
Yeah, no Epstein.
Okay.
Is how she's gonna expect a man to treat her.
Right.
So, like you said, a woman who had they fall in their life ain't gonna deal with certain shit. And we're not even talking about like just domestic violence or whatever, or being scared of him
just
hitting
in
you.
general.
In general, they're not gonna deal with certain shit. They're gonna have certain expectations because this is what their father did,
Especially-
either for their mother
Right.
or for them.
Right. Because, like, Love, I feel for her fucking boyfriend.
Right.
This nigga is going to have to buy her the Empire State Building to impress her. Like, all right, let's go to Atlantic City. Nigga, I was doing that at 5.
Right. I was doing that at 5.
And that's a big part of why I do a lot of things with my daughter.
Mama Mac,
so
what's
those
happening?
things won't impress her, so she won't easily be impressed. Like my daughter's mom said the same thing all the time. I feel bad for her boyfriend because he's gonna have to buy her everything she wants because you do that. Yeah, because I don't want her to be easily impressed.
Right.
You got these chicks. You take them to McDonald's and they, oh my
Oh,
god,
he got me a large fry. I think I love him.
Got me a whole meal.
Right. And it wasn't the kids' meal like mommy. Like, yeah.
my daughter would be like, "This what you doing?
Right, nigga.
This where you taking me?" But I'm going here at 5.
I also want to say though, because y'all mentioned the females not having fathers. A lot of those females are the ones are the abuser as well too.
Right.
That definitely happens. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause, I multiple situations. Not saying me, but females that I know, and it was like daddy issues.
They never learn to respect men.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
In those situations, because and see, this is the shit, like, we have to be careful of the lessons that we pass down to our children.
Yes.
Because if you have a mother who's running around and men ain't shit and fuck all niggas and yada, 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 she's going to grow up the same way. It's just like if you have a son and you raise him, all women are bitches and they don't deserve respect unless they're giving you pussy, that's how he's going to move.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I think, honestly, with domestic violence, if we looked at domestic violence the same way we used to, because we don't even look at that anymore, the same way we used to look at children being molested, you would see a change.
Right.
Because it's still prevalent. Like, there's still some men out here, like, you see what happened to the motherfucking the transplant that raped the girl.
Yeah.
They caught his ass.
Yeah.
Right.
I wish one of them would have had my number. Yo, Holmes, we got him. I'm on my way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what would be a piece of advice that you would give a young girl that gives off the energy that she's being abused, but maybe she's not admitting it?
I have a follow-up question after that.
All right. So the advice I would give them, how can I say this? So pretty much, like, if you see any red flags, I say tell someone and try to get up out the situation as soon as possible before anything gets worse. If you're already going through it, they have Safe Horizon, they have the DB hotline. Tell someone that you're very comfortable telling, but please get out that situation. I am living proof that these things can lead to death. I'm here And I honestly think that the Most High had me here to be a speaker for this reason, due to the fact that I'm still standing. Like, I could have lost my life if I would have stayed in that situation, but I decided to run and leave.
And you could have lost your life if you didn't have that paper trail.
And that as well.
Right.
Because a lot of women are scared to, even though like I was petrified of this man, I still had some type of strength to go to the precinct. And honestly, my kids gave me that strength because I knew I had something to live for, you know? And then even after, you know, just, you know, for aftermath, after going through that, therapy is something that a lot of Black people don't believe in doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. It's a sign of weakness. Ain't nothing wrong with me.
Therapy helps out tremendously. Like, I did it while I was in jail. I did it after. I still do therapy now. So I believe, like, if there's ever a thing where, you know how sometimes talking to your homegirls or homeboys, you feel like people are judgmental because they know you, and you want to discuss something with somebody that don't know you and get feedback, go to therapy as well.
You want to ask your question?
Yeah, my question was, if you had to tell somebody like the signs before it happened, maybe they can avoid it. What would you like? What were some of the signs you would see?
So in my situation, the first signs that I seen was the verbal abuse. And I'll never forget, it was one saying that he said to me, and in the beginning, I was like, oh, you know, he told me, if I can't have you, nobody can.
Nigga.
Listen, I tell people all the time, that's not a cute line. It's not funny.
Right.
It's not he loves you that much. Somebody tells you that, get away from them.
Run.
Yes.
Run.
When he told me this, I was like, oh, you know, he really loves me or whatever. But no, after that one line that he said to me, I started seeing some shit from him, like between calling me out my name, grabbing me up. I can be talking, like, say you my brother, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? I hug you. It was one time we went out, and I hugged a cousin, and he slapped me up in the corner, like, behind not seeing them, you know, and it was like, you hear things like that, you see that they always angry or aggressive, get out of there. And that goes for men as well, because, like, yeah, I said men go through that too, so I'm speaking for both parties.
And
I
want to say
get
this.
beat up at home.
For almost a year, I worked in a DV shelter. And I just want to say to anyone who's in an abusive relationship, if you really want to get out, the DV shelter is the best place to start.
Yes, it is.
One, because they don't just allow anyone in there. They never tell your information. You are pretty much off the grid.
Yes.
And what you do is you use that time to get yourself together, to get yourself right. Also, and I suggest this to a lot of females, become friends with big niggas, angry niggas, hostile niggas. Don't fuck them. Just be friends, at least to the point where they can call you they sis, because when shit pops off,
They there.
you don't call them. Oh, I'm calling my brother. Bitch, you ain't got no brothers. Watch this.
Right.
It changes because a lot of dudes that are abusive to women,
Pussy towards
they're
me.
pussy towards men.
Right.
And if one nigga says something, nah, bro, you don't understand. No, fuck you, nigga. Come outside.
Right.
I'm not going to do this in the house. Come
They ain't gonna
outside.
come outside.
And they're not going to come outside. They're going to call the cops.
Yep.
But see, the only problem with that is if that happens, when he leaves, she still have to deal with him. That's the only issue with that.
Well, when they come in,
Because when they come in, it's it. That's
that's
it.
supposed to be.
What I'm saying is that you're saying, like, you saying come outside, he's not gonna come outside. He's not gonna fight you. He's gonna fight her later.
Nah,
For
because we
calling
take,
this.
we take it too.
No, he makes sense. He makes sense.
Other side of that point. What about the men who call dudes or in situations like that?
They the one who started it. Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
Definitely happens.
A lot of niggas die.
Right. That's absolutely true.
You go whip his ass.
And she started this shit.
She chuckling behind knowing she started it.
Right. That's true. It's picky. It's sketchy. But
Like, I like your idea of having niggas to come, but
Yeah.
it's like, it's so many other
just like-
ways that can go afterwards.
yeah.
Because you also got the one where you go whip his ass, he's fucked up, and guess who going to bandage up his wounds?
right. Or how about this? I'm being an asshole for a minute. How about this? You call them over there and he fucks them up.
Yeah.
Like, now, bitch, it's her.
Oh, you get over there and they jump you.
Right.
And
But I do want to point this out though. And this is something that I seen growing up, and it still goes on. There are people who go through this, get an order of protection, and then there's a conversation, there's a makeup. Now we done forgot about the order of protection, but he did. He just wanted to get in the house.
Right.
Now you want to call the cops. But if you had stayed with that order of protection, you might not have to. And also, I also want to say this. And this is to anybody who deals with law. Order of protection is not bulletproof.
Absolutely not.
Please don't think, oh, well, she had order of protection. Sometimes that shit is just a piece of paper. Because some men, I don't give a fuck about that.
And they really don't.
And they're, because their shit is the cops got to get here.
Exactly.
The cops got to get here. This is why I'm all for women who go to the gun range. I'm all for women who take self-defense classes. Because you got to know, like, because let's be honest, physically, not many women can beat men.
Right.
But that gun is an equalizer.
Trigger Tachi.
That's right. You learn how to use that motherfucking baton. That's an equalizer. You know what I'm saying? Jennifer Lopez, as much as I hate her movies, she did enough. And she fucked him all the way up with rings on. I was like, I ain't never seen Jennifer used like that.
Yeah, that was different.
And then I'm gonna ask this question, then we're gonna wrap it up because we're at the end. Okay. Do you think, I don't want to say social media, society as a whole has taken the severity out of it?
The severity?
The reason why I say this is because we watched, I'm not talking about us, but we as a people, we watched What's Love Got to Do with It.
Yeah.
And we didn't really take that serious because we know that Tina Turner survived. All we did was really take away from the Ike Turner shit. You tried to help Ike, you know what I'm saying? And the comedians didn't help.
Right.
The skits didn't help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie, I found a lot of it funny, especially in Living Color, because David Allen Greer did a hell of a Ike Turner. You can't expose me. I'm right here. You know what I mean? But I think it's just like when I was a kid and I saw somebody get shot, I was traumatized. I see it now and it's just like, damn, that's fucked up.
Right.
Because I done got numb to it. And I think that we as a society has made it, you know what I'm saying, like we're not, I'm not going to say numb, but we learned to accepting of it. Are we in agreement?
For everybody?
Yeah.
So I think there's two things that go into that, right? I think the first part of it is the whole, we take mind our business too far sometimes.
Yeah.
Ain't my
We'll
shit.
pull out the phone, but we won't call
That ain't
911.
my problem, or you being asked, so that ain't my problem. That, and it is a little bit society, because society makes everything acceptable. Everything is a joke. Everything is not that serious because it's on social media. So
Until it happens to them.
just like I was really upset after the Cassie video came out, and a couple of IG comedians made videos about it. I was one that was very upset about it.
Yeah.
Because
I
it's
click
not
thumbs down on
funny.
all of them.
It's not a joke. It's not something to make a skit about. You know what I'm saying? So it's like stuff like that does take away from how serious this is. Because it made a funny joke about it, or like it's even with the Chris Brown and Rihanna thing. You know, people's like, oh, maybe you say he couldn't dance. That's why he hit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Something funny about the man.
What's the name said that? That's why you can't dance.
Like I chuckled at it, but it's like it's nothing funny about. Well, that situation was different because that was just a fight in a car.
Those was two kids.
Yeah, that was two kids having a fight in a car. But it's like, can't make a joke about everything. Not everything is a joke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're making a joke about somebody's actual real life experience.
Right. All right.
Yeah, I think definitely the biggest issue to it, and he mentioned it, is the fact that it's not serious until it's close to home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Versus taking it as an awareness, so to speak. You know what I mean? And it is an awareness. You know what I'm saying? For everybody, like not just females. Everybody.
Right.
I agree with you all.
Okay.
It's a very serious situation, and people do need to see how serious it is and take it for what it is, because like I said, me being a person who lived through it and had to deal with this situation, living in fear and, you know, being afraid to speak up, because I did have my dad in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, my dad was there 100%. And, you know, once he moved out of state and I grew up and I decided to date, this is when this occurred, you know? So like you said, it does play a big part visually having a dad around.
Mm-hmm.
So social media, honestly, social media is just, I won't say it's bad, but it's just the perception that they put out of us as a people is not good. Not just with domestic violence. So I agree with you all 100%.
Mama Max said they never believe it will happen to them. They go bad and then trust them again. Once hands have been put on, that's it. So
before we end, you going through it to the capacity that you went through it. What does healing looking like?
What does healing looking like? So again, the therapy for me.
Okay.
That was a major part of healing. Taking time for self, you know, to reevaluate me as a person and to know what I want in life and what I need to look for that's best for me. And then, you know, a part of my healing, I met my significant other who's
hey. Cool dude over there. He ain't said but 4 years words since he been here.
Yeah, I told you, he say shit until I had a short joke.
Right.
And honestly, with the healing process, I can say he helped out tremendously, because you have to get somebody who can understand you in life and be able to listen. And that's what he does for me. So we built a friendship first, then a relationship.
That's what's up.
And that's what I didn't do in the beginning.
That's what's up.
That was a part of my healing.
All right.
That's not easy for him to step into.
Right.
At all. Somebody that has that kind of history.
Because now he got to be mindful of his triggers, because he don't want to trigger nothing like, ooh.
And you know,
let me go tell it to the
he
guy.
asked me a question like that on another interview I did. They was like, how do your husband talk to you? Like, let's just say when he's upset due to the fact that he know, and they made a little joke about it, that you laid somebody down. So they was like, how do he talk to you? What way?
Brother, right. Since he don't want you capable of it. Don't help himself, bro.
They're like, baby? Yeah. Not even. He slide out a note. All capitals.
So I had to tell him, like, honestly, being that, you know, he's been through things, I've been through things, he is older than me, and, you know, we're not that much far apart, but it's all communication.
Right.
Before it escalates. If we feel that it's going to escalate, I'm not going to lie, there's been times I've been talking to myself because he'll just walk off. Because I'm not dealing with that shit, you know?
Right.
So,
How you doing?
Man,
What?
Man, I be right at feet work.
Right. Okay.
right.
Yeah, we ending now.
Okay.
So I want to say thank you for coming out. Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
It's definitely a blessing that you made it through. Fuck him. And everything that looked like him. Yeah. So before we close this out, because we got to go real quick, we're going to pick this up on the next episode because we need to talk about this, but I want to start now. Did any of y'all see the finalization of Tiana Taylor's divorce?
oh, yes.
This woman got
Everything.
all of the houses, all of the cars,
Everything.
100,000. Well, no, I'm lying. They said 6 figures.
6 figures, yeah.
6 figures in alimony and $8,000 a month in child support.
Crazy.
Do the math, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if pussy is that good. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Reallionaires podcast, hosted by the 3 Wise Men. What happened?
1.25.
1.25? Oh yeah, we on. Hey, we out. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Reallionaires podcast. For everybody involved, the 3 Wise Men, Slimothy, the announcer, Funny Man, MJB, and The Real, and our special guest. I just want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in. Talk with your loved ones. Pay attention to your loved ones. And remember, things are easier to handle before it knocks at your door. Peace.